Well, today we are going to discuss the most confusing question and the most confusing answer which is given by any business consultant to the customers. And this is the most frequently asked question by all the entrepreneurs who are coming to UAE. Still, till date, I can challenge that still remains properly unanswered. And today we are going to unveil this in detail that what exactly is the difference between mainland versus free zone versus offshore. And no better than Hrithik, who has been in the team and he's been doing lot of company setup in UAE since long, will be answering that in detail. Thank you so much, Hrithik, first of all, and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me a chance to do a podcast regarding mainland, free zone, and offshore companies.
So, Ritik, we'll start with mainland versus free zone versus offshore now. And the first thing which comes is offshore.
Offshore company, basically anyone who wants to trade outside of the UAE just needs to have a company here in UAE for any purpose, for like tax exemptions or a holding company, should opt for offshore company. Okay, so the person will not do any business inside UAE. All of the operations of the business will be outside UAE.
So, well, making it very, very, very clear to all the entrepreneurs coming to UAE or the business owners or the investors. If you are opting for an offshore company, you cannot do any business inside the
Right.
UAE. You can trade outside. You can have this company as a holding company for your assets, be it real estate, be it your companies in some other part of the world. You can park your funds, but you cannot do business inside the UAE. So, that's the offshore company for you. What about free zone company?
Freezone companies. So basically, freezone companies, people who are looking to take 100% ownership in their company, people who are looking to do import export business, some consultancy business like IT or HR, or people who do want to do digital marketing should definitely opt for free zones. Free zones also offers tax exemptions compared to the mainland companies. Also, virtual office setup in the free zone is also there for the investors, so they can do business sitting anywhere in the world.
So you mean to say after offshore, the second option is free zone, and it is the smallest ticket size entry into the UAE market if your business is virtual, right? If you want 100% tax exemptions in many of the things, not just corporate tax, but in import, export duties, and you want to have a virtual office and you want to have a smaller entry in terms of affordable cost, free zone is the way to go.
Correct.
Is there anything which cannot be done in mainland and free zone, which can be done in free zone in terms of some of the activities which will be more compliant in mainland? That is also a reason to choose free zone.
For sure. So, see, if you are looking to do any import export business or any wholesale business, you are not directly involving in the retail business. So, free zone is a better option for you because number one, free zone, it has cost. It's very cost affordable. Number two, retail business basically needs to you to have open a shop basically or a office setup. Free zone doesn't require you to do that. So basically, you can sit in India or any part of the in the world, and you can do your wholesale business with any help of a logistic partner and all. In free zone, there are tax exemptions. So in some activities, you don't have to pay any tax, like some consultancy, and also in the import export custom duty, there are exemptions of custom duties as well.
Okay. When it comes to free zone, ideally, the free zones were established as port based special designated areas, which is in every part of the world. There is no difference. It was more booming in UAE, but this exists in every part of the world as special economic zones, which are near to the port. So, whatever goods you are traveling with, they will not enter into the city. Through the ports, they'll be re exported, and you get all the tax exemptions which are possible to be given by the government or that free zone jurisdiction. So, coming back to the point, when it is about free zone, what benefit you get as an import export business as well, because you're on the port? Do you get some infrastructure support as well from the ports? What exactly are the other benefits when it comes to free zone?
So, see, like you said, a port designated free zone. Okay. So, a port designated free zone, when you have already like a Ajman free zone or Jabal Ali free zone, these are all ports and these are the oldish free zones. So, whenever you are importing any kinds of goods or something, you can use the port of the free zone. Okay. You don't have to use any other port, you can use their port. So, it's a plus one for the investors as well.
So you mean to say that you can really store your goods
Correct.
in the port itself,
Yeah.
and again it saves cost because the free zone real estate cost would be much lesser
Much
than
lesser.
coming in, and the logistics as well, because you really need to move the goods outside the free zone, clear the customs, store it in the mainland, and then which will have much hefty cost compared to the free zone.
Correct.
Moving on to the mainland, offshore is clear, free zone is clear. What about mainland? When one should choose mainland versus free zone or offshore?
Mainland licenses are basically issued by the Department of Economic Development of the respective emirates in the UAE. Now, mainland businesses the investor should go for when they are having any retail business or in any kind of hospitality business like a hotel or restaurant or a cafe. Retail businesses like completely retail like electronics or whatever they want to. So, for obtaining a mainland license, first they should have a physical office here. They should have the ijari, only then the license is issued. In terms of tax, yes, there are taxes on the mainland licenses. You have to pay corporate tax and you have to pay VAT. One more thing is required in mainland in certain companies, the shareholding patterns, a local agent or a local person is required, and that's mandatory in the mainland.
In some of the activities,
In some of the activities.
more or less, most of the activities are out of that scope.
Yes.
100% you can own, but in some activities
you need.
still need, and those are some sensitive activities.
Correct.
So the key difference is that in mainland you really need to open only when you have a brick and mortar business, you are on ground business, which can be you need a proper office, you need a retail shop or anything which is more on ground, then you want to do business inside the city.
Correct.
So this is about mainland, and then in most of the cases the VAT will be applicable because you are selling inside the UAE.
Yes.
And then you have to pay corporate tax as well because you are making the income inside the UAE.
Correct.
So this is the key difference when it comes to offshore, free zone and mainland in terms of the licensing.
Yes.
That yes, offshore will not allow you to do any kind of business inside the UAE. Free zone allows you to do in the free zone, and through some other third party you can do in the mainland as well. Mainland gives you all the opportunities to be in the city, to be in the free zone, and of course you can do business outside the UAE as well.
Yes, definitely.
So this was all about the mainland versus free zone and offshore in terms of licensing.
Correct.
But with choice comes the cost, and cost also defines which exactly route you want to take to start your business in UAE. So what is the cost difference between offshore versus free zone versus mainland?
So for starting an offshore company, the starting price in UAE is 5,000 AED, goes up to 10,000, 15,000 depending upon the activity of the business. If you go with free zone, the zero visa package without any visa, it again starts from 5,000 AED, goes up to 50,000 AED depending upon which free zone you want and what's your activity.
Can you detail that? You mean which free zone? You mean northern ones are Dubai, or what exactly is the difference?
Free zone basically in Northern Emirates like Ajman, Sharjah, and Dubai free zones like Ifza or Medan. So this is the difference. Now in the Northern Emirates, yeah, the prices starts from 5,000 for the zero visa packages, whereas in the Dubai, it starts from 12,900 AED. That is the zero visa package.
Okay, so Northern Emirates is 5,500 or 5,000 in
Yes.
some cases, and in Dubai it will be 12,900,
Yes.
zero visa,
Zero visa.
in which you will not get any visa.
Correct.
If we compare it same to mainland, if you don't want any visa, what will be the cost and what's the bifurcation?
Approximately the cost will be around 20,000 AED depending upon your ijari cost, your activity cost, and in some cases the signing and all is also there. So yes, so zero visa in mainland would go up to 20,000 AED.
Can we bifurcate mainland a bit? What is this 20,000 depending on the activity? Which activity will cost 20, and is there any lesser cost license as well in mainland?
Sure. So depending upon the category of the license in the mainland, there are categories like a professional license, commercial license, industrial license. So for example, say you are wanting to open a real estate company. Now real estate license per activity can cost you 5,000. If you add an extra activity in the real estate, it will cost you 5,000. So depending upon the license type, the activity type, yes, the approximate value, including your ijari cost, the signing, payment voucher, everything would cost 20,000 AED.
Break the myth for me. Why in the UAE we see a lot of companies out there on Google, on social, saying mainland company starting 9,000 dirhams. How does that happen and why we are not able to do that as Dhangar? Explain me that.
So many companies in UAE say starting from 9,000. They say starting from 9,000. Now, starting from 9,000 can go up to 25,000, 30,000. That happens in most of the cases. So, starting from 9,000, even we can say it's starting from 12,000. But no, at Dhangard, we are providing end to end services. So, when we are issuing the license for the customer, we are seeing that he is meeting every regulatory condition that is happening for the ijari, for the signing and everything. And also, yes, when we are telling the client, we are telling full budget.
Tell me what is this 9,000 dirhams?
9,000 is just a sole establishment license that he can get without the ijari. And sometimes, if the inspection comes, the ijari is not there, then the client can get a fine up to 10,000, 15,000, depending on the government.
And it's not about the fine, I feel, Hrithik. It's more of a reputation. When you get fined, you somewhere feel that you have done something
Correct.
wrong. And I feel that creates a lot of disconfidence
Correct.
or a lot of disappointment for the investor
Yes.
who was willing to pay to start his business in the right way, but just because somebody gave him a wrong option and he chose 9,000 or whatever it is, and he didn't follow the right rules and
Correct.
regulation. So you mean to say 9,000 is just a part of it and then they're not doing the full job?
That's correct.
Okay, so that is what is. We wanted to break the myth about the 9,000 dirham because it's always all around there, and a lot of clients come to us and ask about it. So you mean to say a proper professional license in mainland can be 15 to 18,000 dirhams,
Right.
depending upon which activity still you choose.
Yes.
If you real estate also comes under professional actually,
Correct.
but the cost of it is 25 to 30,000 dirhams.
That's right.
Then moving on to trade, it will zero visa package can be from 20,000 dirhams. But if it is general trading activity, it will go 30,000 dirhams.
Yes.
So you cannot just say it's simply starting from, and then when customer comes, you just make out a lot of stories out of it.
That's right.
Do you have any example to share in this case where you saw a really good client being harassed by the market and then coming to you and then you solved the problem?
So recently, last week, what happened is a client came to us. It was a walk-in client, so because of the advertisement, he came. Now he had a offer a zero visa license for IT consultancy from another company at 12,000 AED. Now, when he paid here, they got stuck. So now they were asking for more money and more money. That this is the government fees. This you need to do ijari. 5% of the ijari cost will be added. So he was really very disheartened to pay extra money at that time. So I consulted him. I told him everything regarding the process and how it will go. Then he got the money back from me and he did the license with us. So he was really happy.
So you mean to say one of our clients, which is our client
Yes.
now, had already started a process with
That's
someone.
right.
He stopped there and came to you.
Yes.
Can you detail more what exactly was the reason other than hidden fees? Was there any other thing as well which was not clear to him?
It was not clear to him that he needs a ijari for the license. Now, that part he came to know later from a friend that for the license an ijari is needed, because in future if he wants to add any visas, he wants to hire any employees, so the government will come for inspection. At that time he needs a ijari in office, so that was not conveyed to him. Also the charges that were mentioned before, the price, one by one another prices were going to be added, so he was really like disheartened by that.
Okay, I got it. Well, the way we share the quotation, everything in detail is shared that and the cost becomes little higher.
Yes.
Because we are sharing everything upfront. But there he got few things only in the quotation. He thought that is only the thing which is required, but actually it is not the case. Well, now coming on to the one visa package. Let's compare what is the one visa package cost in Freezone versus mainland.
In Freezone, as you said, the Northern Emirates, the prices start from 13,000 AED. Depending upon the visa package, it can go obviously higher. In the mainland, you can get it at 26,000 AED, the one visa, including of everything with the license.
So you mean to say Northern Emirates, the cost of one visa package would start around 13,000 dirhams?
Right.
and in Dubai it will be starting from 26,000 dirhams.
That's
If you do it rightly, otherwise you can always
yeah, of course.
starting from. What about mainland? What is the cost of one visa package in the mainland?
One visa package in the mainland would cost you approximately 26,000 AED following every rule. Now, yes, so that includes your medical test, getting the Emirates ID. So it's end-to-end process from
Opening
getting
a
your
flavor
license.
file,
That's
e-signature cards,
correct.
then quota, then inspection, proper ijari. Everything will cost you 26,000 dirhams.
Approximately.
And then in mainland you have options to add multiple employees
Yes.
in the same ijari depending on what is the square feet of
Correct.
it, right?
Correct.
But when it comes to free zone, then you'll have to take one more visa allocation.
Yeah. So you need to upgrade the package from 1 visa to 2 visa or 3 visa depending upon how many visas you.
And what will be the visa allocation cost when it comes to Northern versus Dubai Emirates?
Visa allocation cost, if you say 2 visa package or 2 visa package in the Northern Emirates can start from 17,000. And in Dubai Free Zone also, Dubai Free Zone, yeah, it can go up to a little higher like 29,000 AED if you compare between Northern and the Dubai. Yeah.
So Hrithik, winding up, what is the one reason to start an offshore company? What is that one main reason?
One main reason of offshore company can be like showing a holding company in the UAE. Okay, like you are not doing any business here. Just to show a holding company, you can form an offshore company over here for getting tax exemptions and tax benefits.
What is one reason not to open an offshore company?
So if you are trying to open a shell company just for moving across the funds from here to there, then you should not open an offshore company.
What is the one main reason to open a free zone company?
One main reason can be the cost, obviously, and getting the tax exemptions also. So all the import-export business definitely go for the free zone.
One reason not to open a free zone company.
One reason when you are most probably focusing in the retail business, okay, retail business or some kind of a direct customer engagement business, that is B2C completely, then you shouldn't opt for a free zone license.
One reason to open a mainland company.
Mainland basically gives you an authority to do the business all over UAE without any restrictions. So yeah, once you get a mainland license, you are not obliged to just have a local distributor or something. You can directly do the business.
One reason not to have a mainland company.
When not to have a mainland company, basically when you are not like having a full-time retail business, or you are sitting in some another part of the world just doing import and export or wholesale kind of a business, then you should probably not have a mainland license.
Well, I think with this, we are absolutely clear. Offshore, when to open versus free zone versus mainland.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Hrithik, for taking out time and discussing this in detail.
Thank you so much, sir.